This is a quick top tip video, which I'm just going to show you a neat way to change things like lip color, but it might also be a contouring color as well. You might want to add in a little blush on her cheeks. And a nice quick way is to just add some color to the image. Before I do, I'll put these into a folder just so that you're not staring at them. So new group from layers. Okay, and I'm going to add a fresh layer, and on this layer I've chosen a color already. I'm going to pick up my paintbrush and just spread that color somewhere over her lips. In order to see through it, we're changing the blending mode, but actually that's going to do half of the work as well. So you can experiment with what happens with all of these blending modes. Perhaps you could put together a sample sheet, but I'm going to use something like Color Burn to do the work for me. Then I'm going to put a mask on, and then I'm going to use my eraser tool, and make sure you're in the mask. It wouldn't matter so much in this case, but in other cases where you're masking, you don't want to be damaging the actual image. So that would be the image. There's the mask. And then I'm just going to erase. I'm actually going to tone it down a little bit because I can't quite see everything. So I'm just going to get rid of the bits I don't want. And actually toning it down gives you other interim variations. Toning down the opacity. If you had a hard edge, then what you could do is drop the opacity up here down. That's the opacity of the brush, and then you could eat in a little bit to the edges. And always, you might notice I'm always using just the edge of my brush to do the work. Nice big soft brush. So you're looking for softness over here, and a larger than life brush that you think you might need to do the work. And there you have it. So we have changed her lip color. If I put up the full opacity, it's very, very bright, and I missed a bit there. Okay, you could also explore different possibilities and tone it down to suit. So giving a nice shiny new pink lips. To do contouring, or to add a bit of blush onto her face, same thing. I'm really just making a bit of a mess here. You can be a bit more careful about how you do it. Then you're dropping it down. Pink doesn't really suit her colour tone, so I'm just going to use a layer style, double click on the layer and put a colour overlay, and then look at what colour is going to work. So if I just put a little bit of red, maybe a slightly pink, into her face, and you can see we can add a bit of blusher or any other sort of face paint. And in the same way, I could add colour onto her eyelids or anywhere else on her face. And if you're not exactly happy, I just splodged on a big colour. Of course, you can put a mask, and then in the mask you can, soften it in. So let's say I didn't want it there, we can soften it back, and so on.